Um, Marty pushes the machine behind the sign and starts walking to town or whatever. And I don't know about you, and maybe it's just different in places, but I've never been on the middle of a highway where it just says a town is 2 miles away. Most of the signs are like at a different town, and then it'll say like this town, next town 8 miles or something like that, or 7 miles or whatever. Not just out in the middle of nowhere. There's not a sign that says 2 miles, so it makes me wonder if they want you to see that too. Then right here, right as Marty gets to town, the song in the background is Mr. Sandman, give me a dream, or however it goes. You are the cutest that I've ever seen. Well, I looked up that song, and that song is 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. And the guy who wrote the song died on October 26th. So you have the DeLorean guy, October 26th, getting arrested for drugs. And then the guy who wrote the song, the first song that's played in the past or whatever, died on October 26th. Also, the comic book, The Sandman, they revived it in 1988. The debut issue of The Sandman went on sale November 29th, 1988, and was cover dated January 1989. You also have in that comic book series in 1988, Lucifer. Let's see, it says his modern first appearance is in The Sandman number 4. So that was that series. Also, it was number 8 historical and blah 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 here of the DC special series, but number 8. But if you come up here, it says he's a DC comic character appearing primarily as a supporting character in the comic book series The Sandman. That's kind of strange. Then it shows this movie up on the marquee here, Cattle Queen of Montana, and it has Ronald Reagan. I believe he was president in 1988, and then this lady. And I just went to Wikipedia and looked it up. It's a 1954 movie, but you scroll down here, and enough said right when you read this. Cattle Queen of Montana. When did it come out? November 18th, 1953. So another November, another 11/8, and it's 88 minutes long. Then just seconds later, it shows this on the same street here. Just arrived, the Ballad of Davy Crockett. So I looked up the Ballad of Davy Crockett. And the Ballad of Davy Crockett, 2 minutes, 23 seconds long. All right, so you're 2:23 and 3:22. Anyway, the song is a song with music by George Bruns. So you click on George Bruns here. He just happened to die on May 23rd, which is the Hermes Trismegistus feast day, which is there's 222 days left in the year. So just keep that in mind, and we'll go back here, and it says, and the lyrics were written by Thomas W. Blackburn. And he dies on August 2nd, 1992, which was 22 years ago. So you have your 88 and 22 years ago, and the other guy died with 222 days left in the year. So that was on the Davy Crockett show, and the guy who played Davy Crockett is this guy right here. And he was born on August 16th, so you got 8/8/8, and then he died on March 18th, which is the 77th day of the year, I believe. Also, let's see, March 18th here. 77th day of the year, and there are 288 days remaining till the end of the year. So you got your 88 again. This is just some crazy stuff here. So then it pans over to this part, and I looked up Patty Page. Patty Page was born on November 8th. She died at 85, but she was born on 11/8. So let's check out this lady, Heidi, I assume. We'll check her out. Really? She was born on August 16th, so you're 3/8. And then she died on August 10th of 2013 at age 84. August 10th is the 222nd day of the year. I'll prove it here. 222nd day of the year. Come on. And while I'm looking at it, might as well look up this album right here, Unforgettable, Nat King Cole. Now I looked at his birthday and whatnot. Nothing that significant that I can see. Like I'm saying, I'm just kind of looking at an instant. I'm not even trying. But this album here, it has a side A and a side B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 8 would be, the number 8 song is called Mona Lisa. And I made a video a while back about the Rocky Horror Picture Show and the 4 Mona Lisa pictures while they're singing the song The Time Warp. It's just crazy stuff. Okay, and then he saves his dad from getting hit by the car and whatever. You've seen the movie, but he gets hit by the car and his mom falls in love with him or whatever. But he wakes up and they're at dinner and he asks about an address and the dad tells him and then he says, 2 blocks, whatever, that's John F. Kennedy Drive. And then the dad says, who the heck is John F. Kennedy? Well, I find that strange considering this was 1955 and John F. Kennedy got shot in 1963. So, I mean, it happens to be 8 years apart from but almost to the day, too, because this was November 5th, and JF shot on November 22nd. But so it was 2 miles, and then the 22nd was when JFK got killed, and the dad doesn't even know who JFK is, even though he was president, like, not even that long after. Andy was a senator. I guess maybe, I don't know all the senators now, so maybe I can understand it, but that seems kind of strange. So then Marty finally finds D5, and Doc Brown brings him in and puts this thing on his head, tried to read his thoughts. And he asks him, he's like, don't tell me. And he says, hey, you want me to buy a subscription to the Saturday Evening Post? Well, I looked up the Saturday Evening Post, and it is this magazine here that was published for 66 years under this name. You scroll down here a little farther and it talks about the illustration. It says in 1916, Saturday Evening Post editor George Horace Lorimer discovered Norman Rockwell, then an unknown 22-year-old New York artist. So let's check out Norman Rockwell. Norman Rockwell, born on 2/3, and he dies on 11/8. So you got 23 and your 11/8, which is an 88. And then you got the editor who hired him. He was born in October and died in October. October 22nd is when he died in 1937, which is 77 years ago. And in the scene before at his mom's house, where they ask him about his jacket, his vest, and they say, you must be in the Navy or whatever. And he says, no, I'm in the Coast Guard. And then when he has this device on, and Doc Brown's guessing stuff about him, he says, you want me to donate to the Coast Guard Youth Auxiliary. So I just looked up the Coast Guard. So here we have the Coast Guard, and you scroll on here to the history of the Coast Guard. Let's see here. The modern Her Majesty's Coast Guard of the UK was established in 1809 as the Water Guard and was originally devoted to the prevention of smuggling as a department, blah, blah, blah. But then you see each Water Guard station was issued with Manby's mortar, which was invented by Captain George William Manby in 1808. So you have your 2 8s there, or your 11/8 even. But let's click on this guy, George Manby, the one who invented that mortar. Now check this out. The guy dies on November 18th of all days to die on, and guess how old he was? 88 years old. I mean, really, how much more clearer can this get? How can there be so many November 18th, so many just numbers? Like, how is this even possible? I mean, people still don't believe it, and that's scary to me. But how do you not see this? That's all I can say. It's just crazy. Okay, so then he shows the doc this picture of his family, and for one, you got Mickey Mouse, so you got your MM, then Marty McFly, your MM, and then his sister's name's Linda, but she's wearing this shirt, which I'm super confused by. This is a big movie blooper for sure. Anyway, but it has HV, I'm assuming for Hill Valley, but you also got H and V, which is 8 and 22. So 4 times 22 is 88, and then so you have 88 and 88, but it says class of 1991. Now, when you read over here, it says Marty McFly is the youngest of 3 children from George McFly and Lorraine McFly, and then he has 2 brothers and sisters. So these are his 2 brothers and sisters, and I mean, it was 1985, which is 6 years before 1991. So I mean, maybe she's just wearing like, for one, how does she have a class of 1991 shirt on if it hasn't even been 1991? And it's 6 years before that. That would make her in like 7th grade. I mean, it's confusing. So it's just a movie blooper, I'm assuming. Yeah, class of 1991. And if he's the youngest, that would mean at least 3 more years below that. That means he didn't graduate until at least 94. So it would make no sense in 85. That's 11 years away. Or 9 years away. So in 85, he looks like he's probably, we'll just say he's 18 years old. I mean, that would make him 9 years old in 85 if he was a senior. So anyway, moral of the story, big movie blooper, but you got your M&M, your MM, and then the HV. Or maybe I'm just seeing it wrong because it's folded, and maybe that is an 8 now that I look at it. So I just went on a big old thing about her being from 91, which doesn't make sense. But the more and more I look at it, I guess it could be an 81. Maybe it's just this bad screen or whatever. Either way, I guess it doesn't really take away from the Mickey Mouse and the MM and then the HV. So then the doc doesn't believe him. He says you can edit the picture basically. And he says, who's the president of the United States? Tell me, future boy. And he says, Ronald Reagan. And then the doc starts laughing and he says, who's vice president? Jerry Lewis? And you look up Jerry Lewis. Oh, Jerry Lewis, born March 16th, 1926. I'm guessing he is age 88. And they also have a 222 reference on his Wikipedia page here. It says that on February 22nd, 2009, he was awarded the Gene Hershoff Humanitarian Award. I mean, really though, age 88, what are the odds? Wow, so they go to the school and his dad is getting bullied because it says there's a kick me sign on him. And this guy right here, I started laughing because it's really ironic that he's the one kicking him, considering he's the kid who gets the poop on his door in the movie Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey, and he's like used to be his best friend or whatever. So you click on him here, and so it was Kenneth Werman, but you go here, and of course he was born on August 22nd. So there you got your 8 and your 2 2s again. I guess it's just really funny to me considering he's like gets bullied and then now he's in a movie where he is a bully before that movie even came out. I didn't even realize that until right now. That's just awesome to me.